We all have our opinions on Vessel. We all have our opinions on the lore. We all have our views of what it means. Some people believe there is a static interpretation. Some people believe it's not, that we are all meant to have our own interpretations. My take, it's all true. Because that's generally always the case. There's a little bit of truth in all of it. And in this case, I see a man who has been growing through his music, been experiencing a journey through his music, and that when a lot of you try to assign interpretations to his music, it's a temporary interpretation. Because at some point, that was the interpretation. That was where he was at with the song. That was what he was experiencing with the song. And then it changes. It grows in meaning. You know, these aren't, we don't live static lives, especially people like Vessel, people in the spiritual community. We don't live static lives. We're not those people who stay in the same job for 10 years, having the same experiences and greeting the same people every day and taking the same lunch every day. No, we are not those people. He is not one of those people. And so what the song meant to him when he wrote it is not what the song meant to him a year after he wrote it, and it's not what it means to him now. The meaning has grown as time has passed. And so all of your interpretations may have been right at some point. My interpretation is that this man started out with it being maybe a decent bit metaphor in a way, just to start out, because how are you going to present what you've experienced to the world when it's that fantastical? Because, oh yes, he did experience those things. That's all real. Actually, most of his stuff is real. It's just got context that seems to fluctuate based on the perception of it in the current position in space-time. And this is where it gets a little physicsy. Because it is. Because space-time is not dynamic. They're proving that in quantum theory, like, constantly. They have been for years, and they still are. That Schrodinger's cat, you know what I mean? We've got the double slit experiment. All of these things pointing to the fact that existence is not a static thing, as much as it exactly is a static thing. That things can be in a constant state of quantum flux. Just look at how an electron actually moves. Look up what an electron spin actually is. And in the same way, something can have two opposing, diametrically opposed meanings at the same time. His music is like that, especially anything that's from the start of a metaphysical or metaphoric nature or spiritual nature. These things do have more than one meaning from the very start, by nature. And so when you look at his music and you're interpreting it and you're feeling all these things, let yourself feel all these things. Let yourself have all these interpretations, because they're all real and valid. If you believe them and feel them to be real and valid and helpful to you, then absolutely they are. Who's to tell you they're not? Quantum theory, it's based on the observer. It's based on the observer. It's based on your perception. It's based on your local point in space-time, which gets down to the barest, smallest thing, the Planck scale. It gets down to the very smallest unit of measurement. And so, yes, your perception is entirely yours, and you are entirely entitled to it, because no one else can understand it the way you do. No one else can see it the way you do. And the way I see his music, that man's looking for somebody. He's looking for somebody, and everything he said is real. And as stated in Carmel, he thought he had people who really believed. They didn't. Burned him. He's had all these experiences that have burned him, and he's learned his lessons through them. Lessons that, as I said, are still morphing, that have grown in meaning since he had them, that have new interpretations since they were written and recorded. But he's got a lot going on. We all know he's got a lot going on, especially when it comes to the way he recently dealt with the record label. And we were all so proud of him for that, as we should be. He's still having the experiences and still growing. And another thing I want you to notice that a lot of people have pointed out is that every record that he has put out, the mask comes up a little bit, comes off a little bit. There's a lot of things like that, like the paint, the body paint. How every record, the paint has become thinner and it sweats off easier and it comes off quicker by the end of the concert. You know what I mean? There's all these things. It's movement. It's movement. It's all movement. And if you notice, when you're in motion, things move. When you're not, things don't. That's another physics principle. An object in motion stays in motion, and an object at rest stays at rest. So if you're leaving yourself at rest, nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing's going to happen for you. Nothing's going to happen with you, because you're at rest and you're going to stay at rest. But if you put yourself in motion, because we have that power to put ourselves in motion, things will move for you. And that man is always in motion. Always in motion. Man, if you really look, and this is music theory, you know, it all ties together. It all ties together. It's all numbers. Music theory, his songs, if you really, really look, are infinitely complex. Possibly even more than he realizes when he creates them. So much alignment just in the numerology and the mathematics of the music itself. The scale, the instrumentation, the harmonies, the rhythm, all of it. Infinitely complex. He doesn't stop. And the music is always moving. He put movement into the music. His music is alive. That's why when you listen to it, it causes movement. It causes movement in those deep trenches of your soul, of these dark, terrible things that you're dealing with. It causes movement for you to confront them and for you to feel them in a different way. He transmutes them. It's all physics. It's all math. It's all magic. Because what is science but magic? Because everything that was magic 700 years ago now would just be technology, basic technology at that. Everything was magic until it was science. And we know that. A lot of you who actually pay attention to that realm of things, like what's going on with CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, yeah, it's all related, guys. And that's the part that people really don't get. It feels outlandish. It feels too much. It feels too big, too comprehensive. It can't all be connected that way, but it really is. It really is. Everything touches. I'm touching you right now. Literally. My atoms, your atoms, they are connected right now by invisible strings, because the very nature of perception, you are watching me from wherever you are across the world, and we're connected by that string of my energy being recorded onto this device, and all the atoms of air in between to get here to create a digital signature that then becomes atoms again to electronically travel all the way to you, where it then comes out your screen the same way it went into mine. Physical connection. That is physical. I'm physically touching you right now. Mathematically. Via physics. If we're gonna say anything can touch anything, if we're gonna go into the quantum mechanics, if we're gonna pull all these complicated theories together into a cohesive working theory, everything is one thing. Everything in the universe is part of one giant living organism, which sounds a lot like Source, doesn't it? And it sounds a lot like the smallest organisms that are alive, doesn't it? All parts of one big thing. Take a single cell. You've got the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. You've got the cell walls, but all of it's part of the cell. When we humans look at that, that's a cell. It's one thing. But inside the cell, the mitochondria says, no, I'm just the mitochondria. The nucleus says, no, I'm just the nucleus. But we say, no, you're a cell. This is a cell. It depends on the scale. It depends on the perception. It depends on the location in space-time. Exactly what I just said. The microscope, if you are existing on the level where it is one cell in front of you, you have one image of one cell. That is that scale. That is that perception. And then you go deeper and go inside the cell down to the parts of it, the size of the parts of it, 11 conformation. Then you realize that no, there is a nucleus. There is a mitochondria. There are cell walls. There are membranes. You see more. Quantum physics. You see more. Until you get down to the point, what physics are struggling with is that at a certain point, it all becomes chaos. You lose a sense of order. It stops making sense because there's just too much there. There's too much there and there's no order. It's chaos. At the most very basic level. And yet here we are, existing in order. And when you listen to Sleep Token, you see that he knows all that too. All of us really do. It's depending on your level of consciousness to it and awareness to it. But you know it. The same way that you know the car is going to move when you put your foot on the gas pedal. It's really faith, because you don't know that. But then you put your foot on the gas pedal and the car moves. That really says a lot. So, you can all be right. Because your perception shapes, literally shapes, your world that you live in. If you take all these physics theories, that is exactly what that means. And that is not woo-woo bullshit. Because putting physics theories into one cohesive working theory means that is literally true. That physics proves spirituality. It does already. And you guys keep looking for evidence and looking for proof, but the thing is, what proof is ever going to be enough? Maybe you just haven't put the pieces together yet, and that's okay. But go put them together. Don't take my word for it. Don't trust me on it. Go fucking look yourself. Have that proof and that knowing for yourself, because if you just listen to it from me, you're going to doubt. Like everything else is going to require faith that you don't feel like you have. Go look. But then you have to ask yourself, are you actually going to believe the evidence that presents itself to you? Or are you going to look for every single loophole and every single nook and cranny to try and logic your way out of it being true? Use your discernment. It all ties together. All of it. This video could be literally endless. Because everything ties to everything. And if I go on every tangent, if I touch every part of the fractal math, tangents, fractals, see, then I would never stop. So, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Have fun.